Listen, I've always felt that Thanksgiving doesn't get its due. In my opinion, it's one of the most pure holidays. There's not a ton of commercialism around it. There's no Thanksgiving music that you get sick of like 3 weeks before the actual holiday. It's just this beautiful, relaxing day full of football and family and food. But now, thanks to Eli Roth, we can finally add a horror movie to the mix, which is just what we've all been waiting for. And I gotta be honest, guys, I know this movie's getting great reviews. I myself was very excited for it. I thought I was gonna like it. But to me, it ended up just kind of feeling like the Scream franchise's warmed up leftovers. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jake, the Scary Story Guy, and today we're talking about Thanksgiving, which is a brand new holiday-themed slasher brought to us by Eli Roth. This is the first Eli Roth film I've seen in ages. I saw Hostel back when I was in high school and didn't like it. But that's actually the only thing from him that I've ever seen. Obviously, he's quite a famous, notorious figure in the horror genre. A lot of people think his films are way too bleak or violent. He takes things way too far, which is why I was both surprised and intrigued to see his name attached to a project like this. Because I think it's safe to say that when you see a Thanksgiving-themed horror film, you're not really expecting it to be brutal, maybe more fun and campy and tongue-in-cheek, sort of the opposite of what Eli Roth's films have become known for over the years. So Thanksgiving takes place in modern-day Plymouth, Massachusetts, 1 year after a Black Friday stampede killed several people in the town. And as the holiday approaches, people in town start disappearing and dying, and it becomes apparent that a serial killer is out for some Thanksgiving-themed revenge. Now, this has actually been getting a fair bit of hype, at least kind of online critically. People are just like, wow, who'd have thought that the Pilgrim-themed slasher movie actually kind of rules? But like I said, personally, this movie just didn't totally do it for me. It's not that it's bad. I wouldn't say that it's a bad movie. I would just say that it is poorly acted and tonally inconsistent. And I would also say that you don't really care about any of the characters or even like them. Basically, this movie's a ripoff of the Scream franchise, right? Where you get introduced to tons of people, and then someone in a mask starts killing everyone, one by one, and you're just kind of waiting for that Scooby-Doo reveal where the mask comes off, and it's like, oh, the killer was this person. But in Scream, you have a bunch of characters that people actually like and care about, right? Like, people came back to Scream 2 remembering, oh yeah, Courtney Cox and David Arquette and Neve Campbell, and they're like, oh yeah, this guy, I remember them. I don't think I'm exaggerating. The cast of characters that we get in Thanksgiving is one of the most bland lineups I've seen in a horror movie in several years. There's nobody memorable or interesting, and perhaps worse, there's nobody that's even all that likable. It's just a pretty weak cast all around, actually. I thought some of the side characters were pretty good. I thought Patrick Dempsey was good as the sheriff. I thought Tim Dillon, who I was very excited to see in this, I thought he was good as the security guard. But as far as the main cast of teenagers, like that primary friend group, none of them were good. I was particularly surprised with the main girl, the actress who plays Jessica. I mean, not to be mean, I'm just trying to figure out how she got this job, because she was super wooden the entire time. Some of her line readings were it reminded me of they get all the characters in the TV show all sitting around a table and they all just kind of are reading the script out loud to each other. That's what it felt like. And she doesn't even have a Wikipedia page, so I'm just kind of who is she? How did she come to be here on our screen? The other girl isn't great either, but you at least understand why she's here. Her name's Addison Rae, and she's quite a big deal on TikTok, I'm told, an influencer, as they say. And I just feel like such an old man whenever I talk about or learn about TikTok and social media. It's just this generation gap that I'm becoming really increasingly aware of over the years. Because I'm 30 years old, right? And I feel like I can talk to people who are 5 years older than me, and we're kind of the same thing culturally, right? We can talk about this, oh yeah, we know these movies and this music that was popular. We grew up in a similar technological landscape back when we were in high school and stuff like that. But the people who are 5 years younger than me, it's just a total cultural disconnect. I think it's something to do with how prevalent social media was when you were growing up or something. Addison Rae being a case in point. I mean, I just read her Wikipedia page. I still have no idea what she's famous for. It felt like I was reading Greek. I'm hoping I don't awaken some dark hive of the internet here. The girl's got damn near 100 million followers on TikTok, so pray for me. Moving on from that random tangent, there were some things that I did quite like about Thanksgiving. Perhaps chief among them just being the premise, right? This taking place in Plymouth, Massachusetts. The killer wears a mask of one of the first mayors of the town, a guy named John Carver, which is just a perfect name for this kind of thing. There were a few Thanksgiving-themed bits of horror that I found quite fun. The Black Friday sequence at the beginning, while obviously exaggerated, was kind of disturbing. I thought it was definitely the most memorable scene in the whole movie. But I will say, I found myself getting tonal whiplash whiplash a bit throughout the film. And that's not to say that movies like this shouldn't try to ride the line between being like campy and fun while also having some moments of pretty gnarly violence, like Scream, to use the example again. I just didn't feel like Thanksgiving ever actually succeeded in being all that fun or funny or entertaining, so that back and forth, I just kind of felt like, what is this movie trying to be exactly? Some of that might come from the fact that I saw it in a nearly empty theater on opening night, no less, so that does kind of make me wonder how this movie's gonna do financially, but I think it's always more fun to see a movie like this in kind of a more rowdy audience. But yeah, unfortunately, at the end of the day, I just came away thinking Thanksgiving was a very forgettable movie. It had its moments, certainly. It was pretty meh. I'm gonna give Thanksgiving 2.5 stars out of 5. All right, guys, we're officially on the home stretch of 2023. I need to make sure that I see most of the good horror movies that I missed so I can put together some solid year-end lists. But in the meantime, have a happy Thanksgiving. Let me thank you for watching this video, and here's hoping you survive to see the next one.